YouTube, welcome back to my channel. I'm so glad you're here. If you're new, welcome to my channel. I am a teacher, crafter, reader, all that good stuff. If you notice, this is a change of scenery. I actually flew home to Chicago to my family's house, so I'm doing this video there. Sorry if it's a little late. Thank you for understanding. Today I wanted to talk to you about my behavior management system and what I use as class rewards. I hope this helps you or gives you some ideas. This will be a little bit of a talky video, but I'll make sure to write down everything I do in the description down below. I hope you enjoy. The first thing you want to know about classroom management and behavior management systems is that it needs to be two-pronged. You need to have a classroom management and behavior support for individual as well as a whole class support system. The way I do this is we use a token economy. So in our classroom we have owl bucks. Our school mascot is an owl, so we have owl bucks. So I have classroom denominations of $1, $5, and $10. What's really important about individual supports is that they are given frequently and meaningfully in the beginning of the year. In the beginning of the year, I basically flooded my classroom with compliments and behavior support, positive behavior support. So if your notebook is out and you are ready for the next lesson, you get $1. If you are doing something kind for someone else, you get $1. All of those things, I like to give a lot of dollars in the beginning of the year. I try to get every student 3 times a day in the beginning of the year as like a minimum. That way everyone is getting praised, they feel like they're a part of the classroom, and they feel like they are valued for what they are doing right. Another thing I do with the owl bucks individually or sort of in small groups is I have the students sitting in pods. So I'll say something like, the first table who's showing me they're ready for recess or lunch, I'll give them owl bucks. And I won't actually say how many I'm going to give, but it really encourages the class to work together to get ready for the next thing, and it moves the class quickly to the next subject or activity that we need to get to. Another thing I like to do is our school has some larger behavior support systems for on the yard or at recess or in the lunchroom. Now if somebody comes back with that owl sticker, I'll give them a shout out in front of the class and make sure to give them a bigger denomination, so a $5 or a $10. I only took the $10 denominations out to give out to students at the end of the year, and that's something you really want to make sure you're thinking of, is that you're planning for it to get bigger and bigger at the end of the year, because you will need it in the last 6 weeks of school. Once you come back from spring break, you're going to need a lot of behavior support systems in place because the kids are getting ready for summer, they're getting antsy, and they have state testing and just a lot. So you want to make sure you have some big guns to pull out at the end of the year. So what I did is came up with a list, and we actually come up with it together as a classroom, so they have a lot of buy-in. I have the ideas already in my head, but most of the time they'll come up with the same ideas I have, or if I ask an idea, they're like, oh yeah, add that to their class store. So some of the things they can buy with their individual supports is things like pajama day, stuffed animal day, sit in the teacher's chair, lunch with a teacher, sit by a friend for a subject, sit by a friend for a day, 15 minutes of extra silent reading wherever they want in the classroom, 15 minutes of extra recess, which they love. They love gum. So I'll just buy a pack of gum, and it usually works for my class. Gum day, where they can chew gum for one subject. Popcorn day, sometimes we have popcorn parties. And movie day and electronic day. Now I know a lot of teachers and some schools don't really allow movie day, or they don't really like it. My movie day is priced really high. So something like sit in the teacher's chair is like $50 to $100. And again, I'm flooding the classroom, so each kid is getting at least $15 a week, so they can sit in the teacher's chair pretty quickly within the first 4 weeks. It's $50 to $100, whereas movie day is $500 to $600. My rule for my classroom store for those big items like movie day and electronic day is they can go in with 2 or 3 students. Now in my experience, having that on my list is extremely motivating, It promotes students working together, and it also promotes a sense of they feel grateful for someone. And I actually had a student who didn't have a lot of friends but actually bought movie day, and the whole class benefits from that. And his social well-being really improved from that. So I mean, it has a lot of bystander effects that really help students. Movie day and electronic day are $500 to $600. Now, in my experience, there has only been 2 movie days in a year. So basically one in the first semester and one in the second semester, if that. And electronic day works the same way. Students can bring in electronic that does not have calling or texting or Wi-Fi on it, and they can use it. I had some kids bring in like a remote control dinosaur, and we also have one-to-one Chromebooks in the classroom so they can play educational games during that time. And it is a limited amount of time, it's 15 minutes. All of those prizes can be bought on our Friday free time. Every week, the students have the opportunity to earn 15 minutes of Friday choice time. Now, this 15 minutes is very valuable to them. They get to do exactly what they want: color, draw, play games, play cards. We've been playing spoons a lot this year, talk to their friends, and shop at the store. What I like to do for the class is make sure that you are not taking away minutes if they are doing the wrong thing as a class, but rather giving minutes. The very first year of teaching, I was like, okay, I'm going to give them Friday free 10 minutes. I'm just going to give it to them. They get 15 minutes at the beginning of the week. And then I just found I was taking away, and I was like, ooh, this doesn't feel right. What you need to do is start with 0 at the beginning of the week. And every time the whole class is doing the right thing, or what I do is if an adult from our school or someone visiting gives our class a compliment, we earn a minute of Friday free time. I do have a maximum of 15 minutes because the days are packed. There's a lot to do. I'm sure you can relate to that. So 15 minutes is the max. During the end of the year, those last 6 to 4 weeks, I do up it to like bonus minutes. Again, these are all things you can do that cost no money. So it's always when we do walking in the halls, that is really good and we get a compliment. Or if the lunchroom monitors say that they did a really good job. Or if all of the class is ready to go to art and I didn't have to say anything, those kind of full class rewards. They see that by helping others, we actually are getting a reward. Now, the last thing I had mentioned was I do a raffle on Fridays. During Friday free time, I will purchase 1 or 2 really fun items that are of high interest to my students, and sometimes I even get them from Scholastic through my book orders that they just send with me. Like I got the Peanuts movie erasers and a Harry Potter coloring poster. So those were high interest for my students and I didn't have to purchase them. So be on the lookout for those items as well. But what I do is I set a bin out in front of the raffle item, and I make a big deal about. And then during Friday free time, they write their name on the back of their owl bucks. And sometimes I'll have $1 raffles or $5 raffles, and sometimes I'll say any denomination works. And then at the end of Friday free time, which is the very end of the day, usually on Fridays, we pull the raffle prize. I have found doing the raffle is a lot of teaching about understanding how to be a good loser and how to be a good sport and being thankful for what you get. And it just kind of lends itself to some social emotional teaching that I didn't know. I just was very limited on the resources that I could purchase for my kids as prizes. So I thought 1 or 2 raffle items that are under $5 is a great way to really build up the students' interest and motivation to get those raffles, and it's always a surprise, so it keeps things exciting in the classroom. So I do those raffles on Friday, and those are kind of my 2 systems. So my individual positive behavior support is our owl bucks, and they can buy whatever they want from the classroom store, all things that are not tangible items, but experiences they can have in the classroom with their peers. And then a classroom support system, which is those Friday free time minutes, starting at 0 on Monday, building up to 15. Now you can do it as long as you want. My students probably would do better maybe with 20 minutes because they kind of take some time to figure out what they want to do. in that time, and they're like, what, it's already gone? But it has been such a benefit for my students, and it's very motivating. And then I have some students who just stockpile their dollars all year long, and they just like to collect money. So I do have some extra bonus behavior supports that I used in the last 6 weeks if you'd like to hear about those. I know it's kind of like past now that we're getting in the beginning of the year, but I'd be more than happy to share that, because in those last 6 weeks of school you need to get a lot of bang for your buck with your positive behavior systems. I hope this helped you, give you some ideas. I'll leave everything I do in the description down below. Please leave me a comment if there's anything else you'd like to see that I do in my classroom. I love getting your ideas. It's been so helpful. And give this video a thumbs up and make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!